Is there another agenda at play? That there are dark forces. Is there another agenda at play?
The deep state. They got me. The deep state.
Is there another agenda at play?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope you're surviving, if not thriving. Welcome back to another episode of A. Thompson and Other Disappointments, guys. It's the Boxing Day edition, isn't it? It's the Boxing Day special. Cheers. By the way, we're not into dry January yet, are we? Yeah, Boxing Day special here tonight. Thank you to you guys for being good enough to join me for it. Those of you in the live chat, we've got Diz keeping us true, keeping us good, moderating the live chat for us. We've got Yuri, we've got Gareth, we've got Jacob, we've got Billy, we've got Jim Speak. What's up, guys? How are we doing? Are you all right? Are you good? Have you enjoyed or endured this festive period, this Tesco winter halal break? That we've all been on the last few days. Yeah, Boxing Day special here tonight, guys. Although really all that is a coincidence that this now here at time of recording, this is a Friday, and you know we do the show on a Friday, don't we? So it's just it's nothing really that special about it or Boxing Day themed about it. I can confirm to you now. But yes, like most people at the end of the tail end of Christmas, I was craving a fix of alone time once more for an escape out here to my shed for the evening. So here we are. I don't know how your respective Christmases went. People in the live chat, people at home, people listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Not sure how your respective Christmases transpired. Ours was pretty good. So it was. But, I mean, I still imagine there's a few 100,000 dads, maybe 1 million dads, or mums, for that matter, who have, by this point, taken to walking out into their garden and just sit alone in their shed for an hour and a half, just exhaling. I imagine that's the case for a fair few of you out there. Like they don't even have a podcast. They just there's not even lights out in their shed that they're escaping to this evening. It's just exhausted parents or exhausted siblings, sons and daughters, leaving the house, going out into the shed just to get a break from their families. And then what do? They go and sit alone in a shed when it's 2 degrees outside, and they just sit there and stare at the lawnmower extension cable for 90 minutes, also drinking. I'm on Faith IPA, by the way, tonight. Not that they're sponsoring the show or anything, but I mean, they may as well do, right? I always used to say in episodes of the pod that if the listeners, if the viewers aren't good enough to get me a sponsor for this show, for this channel, I will fuck around and start reading you fake adverts. I'll just have fake sponsors, and it'll get really fucking awkward for them because they'll be like, we're not fucking affiliated with this idiot. And it'll be shit for you guys because you have to sit through adverts. Like, it's better that you find me an actual sponsor. Somebody that's brand aligned with me and my mental disorders or, whatever they're willing to be associated with. But yes, anyway, so a lot of Britain, I imagine, right now are escaping into their sheds or locking themselves in their cars or just walking out of the family home into the abyss. Going for one of those calming, alone walks around the park on Boxing Day to escape the people they love the most. On Boxing Day evening, though. How was your Christmas, guys? How was yours? This is the most important bit. How was everybody's Christmas? People in the live chat. I've got some notes in the thing saying there's feedback on the mic. Audio is a bit crackly. Hold on, I'll unplug and I'll plug it back in. How's that? Is that any better? Well, when I listened back the other day to the midweek show, it was really crackly. And I was like, I can't use any of that. I can't cut clips out of that. I thought it was like a one-off. So I quickly unplugged and cleaned all of the stuff and plugged it back in. So I don't know if it's interference or something. Is that better? Okay, good. Let me know if it starts going weird again. But yes, how was everybody's Christmas? Everything was okay, was it? We've survived. We've got this far. So far. Everybody get what they wanted. Aside from a fairer voting system and press regulation and for our politicians to take climate change seriously and all of the rest of it. Did you get a new gadget, though? Did you get something to smile about, albeit briefly? Did you get the new gadget that you wanted, Dad? Those, I don't know, USB charging Bluetooth headphones that he was after, perhaps. Those are always the worst gifts, I find. Is, you get like USB charging Bluetooth headphones for your dad or your granddad because you want him to hear his 60s music in the best possible quality, don't you? And you've been blown away by them, by modern technology. So you want him to be blown away by them too, don't you? But equally, you know that there's a fairly good chance that he'll never fucking use them. Like it'll just be too much for him at this point. Like he hasn't even worked out how to use the fucking Freeview remote yet. And it's been there for about 15 years now. He's had Freeview. Whole technologies have come and gone in the time it's taken him to understand them. And now you buy him the headphones, and the next time you see him, he's going to be like, well, I just like the old ones that I've got, you know. I know where I am with those. I understand those ones. My old ones, the classic headphones, the cans, 8. And then it's like, great, okay, well, you've got incredible headphones there and a touchscreen laptop that you never use from a few years ago. You've got a smartphone now. Like my dad has a whole fucking podcast studio in his spare room and he doesn't even know it. He's completely unaware of how much technology he's got there that could make his life more interesting or more exciting, be useful to him. And it's not even like he can sort of plead ignorance. Like, he worked in radio for fucking decades. And he's in this spare room, oblivious to the technology that he has at his fingertips that he could use to carry on producing documentaries or whatever, you know? He's like the media equivalent of one of those old boys on the Antiques Roadshow where they're like, this thing. You say this thing here, this is one of those. Oh, well, golly. And it was just sat upstairs in the spare room the whole time. Oh, well, blow me down with a feather. Gosh, do I feel silly. Except he can't plead ignorance in that regard. Because he's had me in his ear every Sunday morning saying it's not that hard. Like, you could do this stuff on your computer with all of the shit that you have there, Dad. Although, you know, I fully appreciate that, you know, here I am waxing lyrical about how he doesn't understand his technology, and I'm sat here with an ongoing sort of temperamental crackling issue with my audio. Maybe it's not that easy after all. I don't know. But no, I didn't get him the headphones, just in case any of you were wondering. I didn't buy him headphones for Christmas. But I got him skull candies one year. I don't know what you guys got. What do you get your dads? People in the live chat. What has everybody bought for their dads this time? I bought him skull candies one year. For Christmas. They cost me about 150 quid. I don't know if you guys know about audio technology. If Mojo Sabian is in the chat tonight, he will obviously know what skull candies are. They're a headphone brand. And I got some skull candy headphones myself, like way back in the day when I was doing a lot of music production. And I was blown away by the bass in them and this sort of vibrating feeling around your earlobes. And so I got him a pair of these for himself because he also loves his music. And it was for exactly the sort of scenario that I just laid out. I was like, you know, he'll love this. He'll love these. This will show him how good modern technology has become and how much better it can make the songs that you already love sound. It can improve them and optimize them. It's so bassy with the right headphones. And you have to put batteries in these things. An extra pair of AA's to power that bass to make it as good as it is. And to be fair, he did use them. He did. But then I remember seeing him a few years later, and the batteries had just sat in there, like he hadn't bothered to change them that whole time. And then so they'd become dead. And then they would, I don't know if you guys know about like leaving batteries for like long periods of time. You open up old toys that your kids used to use like 10, 15 years ago. Like the batteries have fizzed. They're so dead and old. They've just like sort of started seeping out acid or whatever the fuck it is that you put in batteries. The batteries have just sat in there and fizzed and fucked themselves is what had happened. And I was like, I don't want to change these batteries, you know, so you can hear the bass better again. Then it occurred to me like how all of this was kind of pointless. Because the hits of the 60s that he listens to, they're not that bassy, really, are they? Like if you listen to anything from like the 90s onwards, New Jack Swing, Metallica, Bobby Brown, Michael Jackson, whatever the genre, anything from like the 90s onwards, the bass is just there, right? If you got the right audio, I promise we'll get onto some, you know, politics and stuff in a second. But the 60s just have a, you know, just a slightly lower pitched guitar or something. Just bong. That's the bass. Isn't it? I'm sorry, none of this is political. Get to the satire, Aid. For fuck's sake. So anyway, yes, I did not buy him a pair of headphones. I can confirm that now. So yes, anyway, that was the long and short of our Christmas. Some of the challenges that we come up against. It's a hard time of year, this, generally. Isn't it? Like we have this thing in our house now where we just sort of do our own Christmas here. You know, I don't know, like, again, what people in the live chat do with, like, do you go to your folks still, or do you just drive over to your sibling, or is it just like you and your friends? Like, or maybe you just fuck the whole thing off. You're like, fuck Christmas, bar humbug! I don't know what your deal is, but we have a thing like we just do it in our house. We just have Christmas here. My mum invites us over to hers, but we head over there on Boxing Day instead. Because, without getting too emo about it, when I was a kid, I don't know if it's like false memories, like if people, recollections may vary or people remember things differently or whatever. Maybe I was more sensitive about it, possibly than my brother was. I don't know. But my memory of those Christmases when I was younger is that we would open our presents, me and my brother, but then we would have to spend the weekend sort of thing like at my dad's, and we would get driven to my nan's then afterwards, and all of my friends would have like opened their presents. They'd be out in the street like playing with their new toys or like going over each other's houses. Meanwhile, we would be getting like, whooshed around here or told to leave this toy at home while we were ferried off over to there. It all felt, I recall it as being incredibly like hectic and disjointed. And as I say, maybe it wasn't actually like that. Maybe it's just me over traumatizing a little bit. But with my kids, I'm always like, I just want them to, be able to open their presents in their own house and play with them here with each other and have Christmas dinner here in their home together. And it's the family just together and have the whole day in the house, and they could just do whatever they like. They could play with whichever toy they open and they are most excited. They don't have to worry about packing it up in a box and hoping they remembered all of the bits to it, which sounds empathetic and nice and compassionate, doesn't it? Until you consider the fact that it means it is literally just us four, all in this house, all day long, all in varying stages and levels of neurodivergence, reverberating and exploding off one another. So yes, here I am, out in my cabin, escaping all of that. Ironically, to battle cabin fever. Feels quite appropriate in some ways. We'll just quickly jump into the live chat, shall we? How is everybody doing? Have I missed anybody else? Oh, I got a super chat from Yuri. What's up, Yuri? On the chocolate, marshmallow and biscuit stout tonight. 8.4% alcohol-induced coma later. Jesus. 8.4%. That's pretty serious. Oh, pardon me. 8.4% takes me back to my my pandemic days. Do you guys remember the days of like the Zoom quizzes? And people would set up Facebook groups called like, the King's Head or something. It would be like an online pub. And a lot of my like hometown friends were jumping on this quiz thing. And so every week it would just be us like on a Friday night getting absolutely fucking steaming, answering trivia questions. And I would pick up these IPA craft ale things, and they would be like, it would like be a picture of like a tropical tree or something, or just like a happy teddy bear or something on the front of the can. You go, yeah, it's all right, yeah, IPA, fine. Then you get back home and you sit here and you're ready to do the quiz. You're like, okay, Friday night with my friends, let's do it. And then you look at the can, it's like 8.5%. You're like, fucking hell, I'm going to be blotto. I'm not going to be answering any questions in like 37 minutes. And so now you can sort of understand, now that I've contextualized that's how we arrived at this. I'm not even joking. It started off with like a pandemic sort of Zoom thing on a Friday night. I would get pissed with my friends, and it ticked a lot of boxes because I was a parent and we were already sort of socially removed. It was impossible to get out. I've talked about childcare and the challenges therein like many, many times. But then the pandemic sort of finished. We were all released back out into the wild. I remember having this like this WhatsApp conversation. I was like, so, I mean, I know that like lockdown is over, but like, should we all jump on the Zoom call again this coming Friday? Because, it's a lot of fun, guys. And they were like, yeah, the lockdown's over. I don't know what you're doing. Like, you can jump on Zoom if you like. The rest of us are going to the fucking pub, But by all means, you extend your pandemic if you want to, eh? And then that's when I was like, well, maybe I should just book in a conversation with people. Maybe I should just start a podcast each week instead of the Zoom call. That's all of this is. How tragic is that? Anyway, trauma dumping like a motherfucker tonight, aren't I? Yuri says, I made my dad an urn as he passed away in March. I think he would have preferred beer. Oh, right. Okay. In response to the, like, what did you get for your dad? Secret Dance Move says, Aid, any plans to jump into YouTuber boxing after seeing Jake Paul and Andrew Tate? I'm going to shock you now. I harbour absolutely no aspirations to jump into boxing. It's never been a goal of mine. I'm not remotely interested in being punched in the face a lot. Although I do appreciate that it is Boxing Day and now you've actually made this. I was talking about like how Unboxing Day themed this is, and now we are talking about boxing. So thank you for dragging this back into it being topical and appropriate or apt or whatever. Yeah, Saya Chan is in the chat saying like it is Boxing Day, so it's the best time to get into the sport. There you go, great minds. Boom. Should we do a quick fire run through some of the news that's taken place this week? Feels like something we should do on this show, no? Some of the stories that have bubbled up and they flared up, spaffed their way across your journo-political periphery in the last few days. The Epstein Files. People, viewers, people of the BOOJ. The Epstein Files, which until recently didn't exist, had another batch drop on Christmas Eve. A good day to bury bad news, so it is. Another batch of Epstein Files dropped on Christmas Eve like some sort of fucked up, gift-wrapped chimney shit from Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi in a Santa suit, curling that shit out on Christmas Eve, right before everyone was switching off and clocking out for Christmas. And it's not an accident, by the way. That is carefully curated media strategy. Is what it is they know that everybody's like clocking out, checking out for a couple of days. It's a good day to bury bad news. Dump it out at 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve when everybody's shithoused and doing their best to avoid the topic of politics for the next 48. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the House and Senate and House of Parliament and Fleet Street and beyond, not a creature was stirring. Not even the political editors of any of the UK's newspapers, who even today, in the first editions of these newspapers, since the news broke, didn't report it. It's not on the front page of any of the major newspapers throughout the United Kingdom. How about that shit? Key allegations in these Epstein Files. This latest tranche. They've only released 5% of the documents. Did you know that? 5%. It's like nothing. Key allegations included a story that Trump may have reportedly, allegedly, been on a boat on which a baby was shot, dead, and disposed of in Lake Michigan. That's a thing. That's an allegation that is in there and was recorded in some sort of deposition or police interview or something, some sort of testimony. It's there. It's recorded. It's documented. Another one, that he may have allegedly raped a woman with Epstein, with him at the same time, and later on that woman was found with her head blown off in a scene that local police have said was definitely not a suicide, although the coroner later ruled it a suicide. Nobody is talking about this. Like, it's not on the front page of any of the newspapers, as I say. So if you were hoping that Donald Trump might face some, if not lots of, just some repercussions, or at least just a raised fucking eyebrow, just some sort of reaction from the press at these alleged behaviors. We must use that word. If you were hoping that he might face some scrutiny or some sort of attack, people might be disgusted at this, well, then you, sir, will be bitterly disappointed. You may even have to wait until somebody suggests that he didn't pay the correct rate of stamp duty on his second home. And then they'll be interested, so they will, in how fit for public office he is or is not. The BBC won't be touching it while they've got this fucking billion-dollar Trump case unresolved. The Washington Post won't be touching it because they're owned by his best buddy, Jeff Bezos. Even if somebody does touch it, Meta and X will almost certainly suppress it. Like, maybe here's an idea, right? Here is an idea for you all. Maybe what we should do is we should buy our dads some USB charged Bluetooth headphones. And then when they're sat there, plugged in and like sat on the sofa on the recliner thing, they're sat there, they're plugged in, they're watching GB News. They're listening to GB News. Like they're plugged in like the Borg to the disinformation conduit. Maybe we could flip the audio somehow so it looks like they feel like they're consuming the same product from GB News, except somehow we beam in the audio to tell them how awful and shit Trump is now, or has always been accused of being. Like, is there some way we can do that? Just hack the Bluetooth audio and then educate them, expose them to the reality, break them out of that Borg-like trance. Please, can we do that? Well, I reckon, in all honesty, I reckon if you did do that, I reckon your dad would pull the headphones off. I reckon he would snap out of the trance and he would just be like, I don't like these headphones that you got me. I don't like, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with these headphones that you bought me. What's wrong? What's wrong with them, Dad? Is the bass too loud? Your dad would be like, no, the bass is fine. It keeps telling me bad news about my heroes, about Donald. I don't want to hear bad things. Bad news about golf cart Mugabe. You'd be like, I mean, it's the news, Dad. It's, it's not good or bad. It's just what's happened. It's what he's been accused of. The baby, the boat, some lady getting her fucking head shot off. These are the allegations that are being tabled towards him. Maybe like, yeah, I know, but I don't like it. I only want to hear good things about my heroes. Diz is in the live chat saying, is the chat usually on subscriber only? Yes, it is. Yeah, because otherwise you get a load of weirdos in. I feel like in order to contribute to the chat and the show, like, you should have to have some sort of stake in the show. You should be subscribed and be interested in the show. I mean, you could always subscribe and then chat and then unsubscribe if you want to. Pardon me. Excuse me. Make sure you tell me if the crackling comes back. Maybe I need to get a new audio mic for my mic. Audio lead, sorry. Mabes. Ukraine are in the news again, of course. I love that Billy Kershaw is in the chat saying, like, you might like a load of weirdos in. Lol. Like that isn't just the average state of the of the chat every Friday night. Like, come in, you'll fit in well here, lads. Ukraine, guys. Ukraine have been in the news of late. They've killed a few Russians in Moscow over the last few days, last couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I mean, they never claim responsibility for it, do they? But I mean, who the fuck else is it going to be? It's going to be like, who else is putting car bombs in cars over there? Fucking like IRA veterans getting a little bit too nostalgic. Police walk in. Wow, like who did that? Talk to an American coroner. That's a suicide. Yeah, we looked into it. Suicide again. So yeah, Ukraine blowing the shit out of, like, killed an army general the other day. They killed a couple of state troopers or police officers or something in Moscow. I read a thing the other day about how much Trump has shot himself in the arse with all of that now. Because like Biden funneled a lot of money into Ukraine. Obviously, we all know that, as did the UK. But from a US perspective, Biden put a lot, like billions and millions of dollars into Ukraine. Trump has pumped the brakes on that, or at least on a lot of it. But because Biden had so much cash in the game, then Biden had a say, or the American establishment had a say in how that was used and where Zelensky could or could not attack. You know, it's like, okay, I'll pay for the thing, but you're not to use them in the thing because that might fuck up some stuff for us or something, you know? They had that say. They had a stake in the game. Much like the subscriber-only commenting. Same. It's exactly the same. But now, because there's no American money headed that way, and you may have seen that big news story last week or the week before about how the EU have actually stepped up and coordinated this sort of big like Euros loan program to Ukraine instead. But now, because there's no American money, like this the same Biden billions headed that way, or significantly, or certainly significantly less than there was. Now they have no say in that sort of stuff. They're not in a position to say, okay, well, you can't do this, or you can't. Okay, but not like that, right? You don't have skin in the game. You're not able to push in the same way that you were. You don't have that leverage. And so that is why now, suddenly, or seemingly suddenly, you're seeing these stories about, you know, Ukraine attacking Putin inland. You know, like way inside Russia. That's a pretty new thing, I think. Or certainly in the frequency that it has recently been observed to be. I mean, I've said this for a while. Like, I think Trump is compromised by Putin. And I've arrived at that opinion for many reasons, the likes of which we've gone over many, many times. But most recently because reality doesn't do subtext and non-obvious plot lines. The screenwriters of reality don't fuck around with metaphors and red herrings. It is fucking obvious that is what he is. That's who he works for. It's like whenever I see a journalist on like mainstream British television, they go, oh, what is Trump's strategy here? I'm like, he works for Putin. That's it. That's your strategy. That's the first act, the curveball, the closing credits. Boom. Explains everything. You're welcome. But like most of all, if you look at the sanctions, the deadlines, just his general conduct, the sanctions, the supposed deadlines that he set for the Kremlin, the faux hardball negotiator thing. What was that stuff that he came out with a few weeks ago where he said, I'm not very happy with Vladimir Putin at all at the moment. Like that sort of briefing that comes out. You take all of that here, but then just focus, like, ask yourself this. When you absorb that sort of story, That sort of, oh, he's tough on Russia kind of stuff. Forget the words, forget the narratives, the PR positioning. Given Trump's actions, or lack thereof, in whose interests are the actions that he does or refuses to take? Ultimately. Like, it always ends up to the benefit of the Kremlin, basically, in the round. It's like, you know, he'll set a deadline, but then the deadline will just sort of wilt and wither away. It's like, oh, well, so they didn't have to do anything. He'll threaten new sanctions, but then the new sanctions don't really affect anything because they're already selling all of their oil and gas elsewhere by now. So it didn't really seem to achieve an awful lot. Conversely, he gets Zelensky into the White House, pulls the funding. It's like all of the talking, the narrative, the PR, all of that is like fine. You pretend to be hard on Putin. But in the opposite direction, things are actually really tough and humiliating for Zelensky, for Ukraine. And then we get to the cancellation of the funding for Zelensky. And it's like, you know, to go back to shooting himself in the arse over this. It's like, well, now you don't have any say in how your actual enemy, if indeed Zelensky is his enemy, if indeed he is an asset of Vladimir Putin, now you've lost your way of influencing how that man is conducting himself. So to some extent, what value are you to the Kremlin anymore? Like, if Donald Trump is actually a Russian asset and he was of use to Vladimir Putin when he could still impact or affect Volodymyr Zelensky, if now he's lost the ability to do that, what use are you to Putin? You've lost your use to him. There's no more utility, or very little. And I think what I'm saying, by arriving at that question, what use are you to the Kremlin anymore? I think what I'm saying is, release the fucking piss tapes, Vlad! Release the fucking piss tapes! The hooker Moscow hotel room piss tapes. You know? Go on, Vlad. It's been a tough year. It's been a hard year. We could all do with a laugh. Like, what? Is he valuable to you? Is he still now? He lost the Epstein vote. The papers are coming out. We've started to see what that actually means. He's battling dementia. Just put the fucking piss tapes out already. Could be a Boxing Day movie premiere for the whole family to enjoy. I'll quickly jump back into the live chat, and then we'll do. Should we do a weird news story tonight? I've got one teed up. Who is up for a weird news story? Diz says, why are all the world leaders complete lunatics? I was thinking about this earlier, like how few world leaders will still be around in, like, 20 years' time to suffer the consequences of not taking climate change seriously. Like, if you do believe the doomsday predictions that much of the earth will be, like, not uninhabitable, like humans could survive living there in, like, the heat, or there would be shelter, but a big thing is, like, the loss of the ability to grow food, or, like, the loss of the ability to keep water clean, or that soil itself, like, soil has to be at a certain maturity level, but eventually it dies, right? I'm not talking complete nonsense there, am I? And there is this idea, this theory, that a lot of soil is going to, like, it's going to get really fucking hard to grow food. So it strikes me sometimes, like, how few of these guys, Donald Trump is like 79, Putin is like 72, is he? Or 73, something like that. President Xi Jinping in China, he's about 70, I think. I don't know any of these, like, you know, for sure. I'm just sort of pretty sure they're hovering around these figures. Who else? Like, I mean, everybody's in there, like, 60s minimum. Like, how old's Keir Starmer? He's like 60, isn't he? Very few current world leaders will be around to experience the wrath of the reality they're condemning the rest of us to. It's really quite something. Like, imagine if you had like a United States president and a British prime minister who were like 30 and they had kids and they were like, yeah, better take this seriously or this planet is going to be fucked. We're all going to have to deal with it. And the wild thing is, like, I always bring this up, but like the same people who shit their tits about immigration figures now and illegal migrants coming over the channel, however you want to term them, the same people who blow a gasket about that stuff, I'm like, when people start really fleeing these countries because they can't grow food anymore and we're the only country that still has a climate and soil or whatever else, you haven't seen anything yet. It's going to be insane how many people are going to try to get here. And it's the same people who don't take climate change seriously. Net zero. Don't worry about it. Adastra Recordings is in the chat. Says, yes, Aid. Farming strips the soil of nutrients. That's why we are supposed to rotate crops. Yeah, I mean, it's quite... When I first heard this thing, I was like, oh, great. You know, like, on top of everything else, like... We can barely remove fossil fuels from our fuel portfolios. Like, we struggle to just step back from oil. And now you're throwing, like, the expiration of soil. We can't even have soil. Oh, God. What is even the point? It honestly feels like this planet is... It's kind of fun. I'm beginning to... You know, there's some sort of catharsis or empathy with the idea of just getting the fuck out of Dodge. Jump on the Elon rocket and fuck off. Okay, let's do a weird news story, guys. Join me. As is tradition on the Friday night show, when I remember to find one and prepare for it, we do like to dip our toe into weird news stories. Sometimes with a sort of flavor of Americana to them. You know, it might be a family in Ohio or Utah or somewhere or other, and they mistake this for that, and it's a sort of funny, silly news story. Other times it might be something closer to home. Like a sort of county lines drug dealer that does something stupid and, I don't know, breaks out of prison dressed like a fucking cuddly chicken or some... You get the idea. A weird news story. Okay, so this is from where is this from? Let me just get my my goddamn notes up. Where is it from? Oh, right, yeah, this is from WLWT5 is the name of the website. I don't know if you can see this. You can't see the top, can you? WLWT5 Jefferson News. Proper Americana, like local news, you know? We don't really have that in the UK, do we? Like local TV news stations in the same way that they do in America. Like state-run television. But yeah, this is from WLWT5. The headline reads... Police near Louisville find 50-plus pounds of meth disguised as Christmas presents. 50 pounds of meth disguised as... How do we know they weren't Christmas presents? How do we know that? Like, how would you know that that's not the Christmas present disguised as meth? Like, you may very well have just really messed up somebody's Christmas, guys. Nice one. Ruining the party. It says, Jeffersontown. KY. Is that Kentucky? I assume it is. It says a 23-year-old man was arrested near Louisville this week for allegedly disguising more than 50 pounds of methamphetamine as Christmas presents. Well, okay. Okay. I mean, again, I can't help but feel for the poor junkies who were supposed to unwrap these gifts out here in Louisville. But you know, I'm all heart like that. It's, you know, my cross to bear. I feel for these people. It says Jeffersontown police, even. Jeffersontown police were working a drug investigation at a shopping center on Bluegrass Parkway. Okay. Like, is this even a real story? Is this even a real news story? It's in Louisville, Kentucky. Is that like Hicksville? Kentucky feels like a bit hick, doesn't it? It's meth. It's on a street called Bluegrass Park. Ding, 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 ding. You know, banjos. Bluegrass. It's on a street called Bluegrass Parkway, was it? Like, if this was in a novel, I would be like, what? Was the author struggling? Were they? Were they tired? When they wrote that bit? Okay. Now you flip the page. It says, the drug bust took place on Tobacco Chewers Boulevard or something. You know, it's a bit obvious. It's a bit, you know, think harder. Bluegrass Parkway. All right, fine. Let's do this dance. Okay. Jeffersontown police were working a drug investigation at a shopping center on Bluegrass Parkway when a police dog alerted to the suspect's car. A police dog. Fucking snitch. Fucking snitch dog. Snitch bitch. Fucking snitch bitch. That dog. Ruining your Christmas meth bench. Ruined it. I hope that dog doesn't get invited to the Christmas parties. I hope it's like socially removed from the other dogs' circles. I hope the other dogs like hide their drugs from him. Call him a narc and stuff. Because he's such a straight-laced little like, I think I smell some meth over there, officer. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Over there in the red Cadillac. Ruff. The other dogs are like, oh, don't be a dick, Rover. It continues. It says, police said Jacob Talamantes. Pretty good name. Again, sounds a bit made up, but fine. Jacob Talamantes of Nebraska was arrested after the boxes were found in the trunk of the car. Police said Talamantes told investigators he was traveling from Iowa and intended to sell the drugs. I mean, that is a rookie move. Telling them you're on your way to see us. I was going to sell them. Yep. You got me. Singing like a canary. Oh, you should just say it's for personal use, surely. Like, you know, how much was it? What did they say? 50 pounds. 50 pounds of meth, they said. But it's the Christmas break, right? It's Christmas. You know, you could be like, look, I take a lot of it. I mean, look at me. I'm obviously balls deep into this stuff. And dealers take the holidays off too. The dealers need a break too for Christmas. Happy holidays. Have you tried to pick up your meth in between Christmas and New Year's? Good luck, buddy. Impossible. And I can't just come off this shit around family and friends when they're cooking their food and eating with their kids, and I'm just shaking and itching and shitting my pants at the table from Christmas Eve through to the week after. I can't just go cold turkey on this shit, even though it is the season and it would actually be quite appropriate for me to go cold turkey. I can't do it, so 50 pounds of meth made a lot of sense if you think about it, officer. It says he was charged with first-degree trafficking of a controlled substance. It says first-degree trafficking. Wow. The police said no amount of festive wrapping can disguise the harm that these drugs inflict on families. Nice. Nice wordplay. Feeling it. It's not really wordplay, is it? But it's like acknowledging the gift wrapping, and you know, there's always going to be a little bit of like wordplay or like, you know, languagey stuff or something in there on these local news reports when they do stuff like this and they interview like the county sheriff or whatever. You know, like if they found 3 suitcases of pure cocaine in there, they would crack some sort of joke about it. You know, it's being cold and it's the season of colds and sniffles, but that's no excuse for sniffing 5 G's of Colombia's finest. You know, it's like that sort of thing. I'm feeling it. I'm here for it. No amount of festive wrapping can disguise the harm these drugs inflict on families and communities. The coordinated efforts of partner agencies ensured these holiday-wrapped packages never reached the streets. Jeffersontown Police Chief Richard Sanders said, wow, what a bust. What a career bust there. And, you know, as I say, I'm feeling the sort of the language, the wordplay that isn't really wordplay. Although, do you know what? If you are a fan of wordplay, if you're a lover of language also, you will also be surprised that the newspaper headline for this wasn't Methy Christmas or something, you know? Feels like there's a joke there somewhere, isn't there? Methy Christmas or Merry Chrismeth. Maybe. It'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? But I mean, yeah, this is why you guys are fucking stuck in the local leagues. In the high school baseball leagues of journalism, WLWT5 of Jeffersontown. You're missing the most obvious headline wordplay puns out there that are right there for the taking. With your headline, police near Louisville find 50 pounds of meth disguised as Christmas presents. Is what occurs to me. The other thing about this is, I mean, I don't think this does anything for the reputation of cops out there, particularly in America. Cops who are trying to do the whole, you know, sort of community policing thing, trying to convince communities that they're there to protect and serve them, improve relations, community policing, keeping you safe. You know, I don't think it does much to help with that. When you got this guy, police chief, pulled some guy over at Christmas. He could be like on his way back to his family. He's driving across states. This is in Kentucky. They found him in Utah, wasn't it? Or Ohio or something. It's Christmas. He could be driving back to his family. He's driving across states. And he's got Christmas presents all wrapped in the car. And your first thought isn't, yeah, it's makes sense. You know, it's sort of, yeah, fits together. You know, your first thought is, I bet there's fucking drugs in those presents. Open them up. That's your hunch. It's just a hunch, man. Like, imagine if you were the uncle. Imagine if you were the guy. You're just like an innocent uncle Probably black if he's pulled you over. It's America. It's Kentucky. Imagine if you're the black uncle of some cute little kid and, you know, you're on your way back home for Christmas to the family home that you grew up in or something, and you haven't seen any of these people all year. You love it. You're desperate to get there and see everyone. You bought presents. Of course you have. And then you have to be like, you rock up there and you got to be like, yeah, they pulled me over for nothing, by the way. And then they made me open the wrapping and open the boxes. And I bought you I bought you a Care Bear. And the cop was like, nope, I don't care. Fuck your Care Bear bullshit. Open him up. And he made me cut the Care Bear with his police issue penknife like I had a teddy for you. But it's just cotton on the freeway now. It's just fucking, I had a cuddly elephant for your brother. The cuddly elephant is now just fucking roadkill. There's a dead elephant on Route 109 now. I'm sorry. Like, I think you got to be a bit of a sociopath, cop, to look at presents and be like, I bet there's some fucking drugs in there. You fucking open it. Open it up. Here's the knife. You know? Like, I reckon telling someone, like looking at a cuddly toy, looking at a Care Bear, and telling someone that there's drugs in there, assuming, implicating, accusing someone that they've put drugs in the cuddly toy. I think that sounds more like something that an addict would say. It's like two addicts in a fucking drug house, in a drug den. And one of them thinks that the other one's like holding out on him. Like, where's the fucking drugs, man? You told me that we did all the drugs. No, yeah, I know you got some, man. Where is it? You're hiding it. You're hiding it in the fucking Care Bear. I know. Open the goddamn Care. You're crazy, man. You're psycho. That sounds like more like something that a drug user would accuse somebody of, not the fucking cop, the police chief, for Christ's sake. Anyway, that's a fun, weird news story to finish up on tonight. How are we doing in the live chat? I think I'm going to stick around for the lock-in this evening. If you're new to the show, we do a sort of podcast proper where we try to make sense of the senseless from 7:30 to 8:30 on a Friday night. And then at about now, 8:30, we wind it down for the lock-in. And usually about now, I remind you to all join the Patreon to make sure that you're liking and subscribing and commenting and all of that stuff. We do have a Patreon meetup. So if you're a member of the channel or a Patreon, we are meeting up on Saturday, the 31st of January. It starts only at £1 a month to join the channel, sign up for the Patreon. So do give it some thought. Go and have a look at it. If you've enjoyed the show or you enjoy the far right watch videos that I've been spaffing out of late, then do consider it. Go and click the link, sign up. Takes like 2 minutes maybe to sign up for it. And then you two can come down to the London meetup on Saturday, the 31st of January. Right, shall we wind this down to the lock-in now? Thank you so much if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching this later. But that's it for this one. We're out. Right, let's do the lock-in, shall we? Here we go. Where's the goddamn lock-in?